On this week's Roundabout U, students prepare for this year's step show.
We view art from the Great Depression that depicts the struggles of the era.
A local student takes advantage of the college to career experience. The 28th annual Celebrate Women Luncheon. I'm Brianna Silv.
And I'm Shelby Sisson. Welcome to Roundabout U.
The fraternities and sororities on campus battle it out on the stage of Lovett Auditorium as they showcase months of hard work and dedication at this year's Alpha Step Off.
My sorority was one of the teams that participated in the step show. It was lots of fun. Murray State students flooded the seats in Lovett Auditorium to catch all the action at the Phi Alpha step show. Each fraternity and sorority had a team of about 8 to 10 members who make up, learn, and compete a 10-minute step performance. It involves dance, step, and even some theatrics. Each group receives help from a member of Phi Alpha, and together they've put in 3 months of hard work to prepare for the competition.
Well, we have to learn the steps, and lots of times we spend time looking at different YouTube videos, and then Dexter Alexander was our coach, so he would come in and help us. So we'd have to practice the steps, work out the details of the show and planning it out, and then practicing for Stroll that took place last night, and then strolling off the stage. And so there's lots of stuff that goes on, making costumes, making props. It's a lot of work, lots of late nights.
Teams must first come up with a unique theme to showcase throughout the performance. From Dr. Seuss to Day of the Dead, this year, teams covered a wide range of themes and were very creative. Themes are typically left up to the participants to figure out, with little input from their Alpha coaches.
And our theme was called Straight Out of Prison. So basically we were in jail for kidnapping someone, and then at the end, one of the guards is actually one of us, and she broke us out.
So we're kind of going with the creepy theme. It's kind of just how serious you can be and how theatrical you can be with the theme. So we want to choose something that you can really get into.
The uniqueness and competitive nature of this event makes it a favorite on Murray State's campus. Students, faculty, and staff, and even family members that attend, know they are in for an intense show.
Well, first of all, I just think stepping is really cool. I think everybody thinks that stepping is just a cool thing to watch. I think that's why people get so behind it, and then it's just a competition. And, sororities and fraternities, we love to compete against each other, so I think that's why we all get into it too, is to see who's the best and stuff like that.
I think that it's just a lot of fun, and you can tell that every team goes up there and they've put their heart and souls into it and just want to do their best and want to put on a good show for their friends and family, and I think that you can just feel that, and you can feel the intensity from it.
Members of the sororities go a step further in ensuring they have the perfect spots to cheer on their step teams.
But I had sisters out here from 8 o'clock in the morning holding a spot so we could get good seats, so yeah.
The night ended in favor of Alpha Sigma Phi for the fraternity division, with Sigma Phi Epsilon taking home second place, and Kappa Delta for sorority, followed by Alpha Gamma Delta's second place finish. Kappa Delta also took home the Grand Champion Award. Most importantly, all proceeds from the Phi Alpha's Philanthropy Week and event were donated to the March of Dimes. The step show is not an easy competition to succeed in. The teams that participated need to be fully committed and have discipline. My sorority, Alpha Gamma Delta, showed these qualities at each of our practices. Tiara Reese stopped by one of the practices for the story.
Alpha Gamma Step!
Alpha Gamma Delta knows that this step show requires a lot of hard work and dedication. That's why they started back in November. From recruiting to training, this sorority has put in a lot of effort.
Right now, we're to the point where we start warm up with our stroll off, so we do our entire dance. And then we start running through the entire show, which is about 9 minutes. And then we'll break for a minute, talk about what we could have done better, where we had mess ups, and then move forward from there. When we're learning, things go quite a bit slower just because everybody learns at different paces. So some practices go pretty smoothly and other things are more difficult to catch on to. So we could only learn one thing one night sometimes.
The choreography has a lot to do with winning or losing in this competition. The girls had a main choreographer, but also got to contribute dance moves in their routines.
We're really lucky. We have Mary Evans, who came to town through campus outreach, and she was an Alpha Gam at Arkansas State University, and she is very talented with dancing. And so she reached out to us 2 years ago and started to help us choreograph some of our routine. And she loves to dance, and I think loves watching us grow and improve and coach us. So we have started being an awesome team with her. We try to divvy out the material for girls on the team who also like to choreograph, but for the most part, the entire show is created by about 2 or 3 people.
The overall experience participating in this step show has had Alpha Gamma Delta girls grow closer. Not only have they learned how to step, but learned how to step out of their comfort zones.
It was kind of my first experience performing on a stage or even getting out of my comfort zone and learning to do that kind of thing. So when I first had tryouts, my very first tryout my sophomore year, I cried because I just thought there's no way I can do this. And just to see where I've come in the past 3 years, I love to step and I surprisingly like dance. So I think it's been good to just get out of my comfort zone.
The step show, hosted by Phi Alpha, assigned a member from the fraternity to each of the sororities participating. Alpha Gamma Delta's Alpha member served as a motivational speaker for them.
I often tell them, don't let the moment psych you out. You're bigger than the moment. Y'all potential is better than anybody else's in the show. Things to just try to get them more quotes and more statements to get them confidence as a team and individually.
Although Alpha Gamma Delta didn't take home the trophy, members of the team considered getting to present what they worked so hard for a win in of itself.
The 28th annual Celebrate Women Luncheon brought women together to celebrate not only each other, but themselves as well. This year's guest was someone close to our Murray State hearts. Women across campus showed up to the Kerr Center to celebrate Women's History Month with the Women's Center's Celebrate Women Luncheon. The Women's Center puts on the event every year with a different inspiration in mind. Attendees have a wonderful lunch while listening to various speakers, ranging from university staff to students, and even a Board of Regents member gave speeches that tie into the inspiration. This year's inspiration was kindness and individual responsibility.
Sometimes I think, certain people are inspired to make a change in their personal life based on what the speakers talked about. Sometimes I think they're inspired to get more involved in a certain issue or on a certain topic. So I think it really varies from year to year, but I think the community that it builds is the biggest way that it impacts the attendees.
Keynote speaker Susan Guess drew from her own experiences with her daughter to give her speech. She wanted to leave behind a message of responsibility, the responsibility of trying to help the women around you and change what you can for the better. She doesn't want anyone to remain silent when they can help. She has especially seen this with her own daughter.
Well, I think it's important that we speak up, that we stand up, that we recognize we have a voice and that we can use it for good. I think that's been the lesson with my daughter is that far too often we're silent, that we don't stand up to the injustices and the wrongs of the world. And it's important as women. I think we have a unique way that we can impact change.
The greatest part of the event for the organizers is that it brings women from across campus together. From students to staff to members of the Board of Regents, every woman on campus is invited and they all get to connect with each other at the event.
It's just a time for us to really connect, and I think that's one of the biggest encouragements to most women that attend. But with the speakers being different every year, I think people just relate to it in a different way.
This connection is important for women to provide support to each other and themselves. Knowing that someone else feels the same way can be the most important part of getting people to speak up. Speaker Susan Guess also wanted attendees to remember that while they are influencing those around them, they are being influenced themselves.
How sometimes the legacy we think we're leaving for others often those people bring the legacy to us.
Everyone attending was able to talk to other women who would encourage and celebrate them to provide an entire community of support. This support will be important to all the women set on changing the things around them and will be invaluable to push through the fear that comes with speaking up.
Fear is so tightly wrapped around issues of injustice, human rights issues, and I think you have to push through that fear, and I think that's when the real reward comes.
That reward is seeing women able to join that community of support and better lives with their actions. Organizers want women to use their support to stand up for what they believe in and encourage Murray State and someday the world to be a better place for all, no matter what.
This year, the main takeaway message is that we all have a circle of influence and we all have the ability to impact people in our lives directly. And I think that the takeaway today is that no matter where you are, whether you're a student member, faculty, or staff, whether you're out in the community, there are women around you in your life that need to be encouraged in whatever it is that they're doing in the phase of life that they're in. And that just by doing that and having that community built up between women in our community, we really do go a long way in making women feel like they are empowered to be successful members of society.
Batabile Lamini, our field reporter, is here on an exchange program from Zimbabwe. She will be at Murray State for a semester to learn about the United States. One of the things Batabile found fascinating is the number of students here from all over the world.
When I walk through campus, I run into a lot of people from different places. During my interactions, I see how cultures can make or break a friendship.
Speaking about friendships, I now have friends from all over the world, Asia, America, and Europe. My friendship with them improved over time, especially after understanding their culture.
Of all cultures, I find the American way of life unique, as it is the opposite of Asian, African, and European. This observation is similar among international students.
The way they deal with situations as something that seems to be unique to me. Last semester, and we had a presentation, and we are meant to talk about health, and I saw so many students, they come up to the presentation point, and they try to say, okay, right now, when I was young, I got pregnant. It makes me understand that they can actually go straight to issues, provided it's gonna get them to where they wanna be.
Their system is really organized compared to where I come from.
Actually, we don't have the custom of tipping in Korea. So just a week after we eat food in the restaurant, we can just leave the restaurant without tipping. But here, for the first 2 weeks here, I was really embarrassed.
International students at Murray State University find themselves in awkward situations because we're in a new country. The cultural diversity here is overwhelming, but interacting with an open mind helped me adjust easily.
I'm not good at speaking in English even, and so I thought, I have to be braver and more open-minded and more active, you know.
I started going to, places and trying to socialize myself with the people around me, like going to, public places and all.
It was a little bit frustrating the first 3 months, but then that's where I tried to bring in this idea of ethnocentrism, because you want to talk to someone, the person doesn't want to talk to you. Not because the person is rude, no, the person is not rude, but because the person doesn't know you. And from around here, if someone is not comfortable with you, I don't think the person will be good enough to try to stand and talk to you.
What I normally do is to watch how people go around with things, know how their system works and try to understand it, then I go along with it.
Murray State's international students and scholar services played an important role to help me adjust to the new culture. I found this helpful, considering the university's total population of almost 11,000 students, of which 933 are international students.
Having people from here explaining how things work, explaining how things are going, it helps me to, adapt to the situation and not feel overwhelmed.
There was a icebreaker session happen in the month of February, I guess, because I came here in spring semester 2015. In that session, I met like bunch of people from different regions.
From what I have seen in my department, both the professors, both the advisors, and both the school management, they do things in the way that everybody is going to get involved. They understand you're a new student, so they try to shape you in.
I believe for one to have the best experience of their life, they should find a place with friendly people. The city of Murray, where Murray State is located, was awarded by Rand McNally and USA Today as the friendliest small town in America. For Roundabout U, I'm Batabile Dlamini.
The annual Harry M. Sparks Distinguished Lecture Series is hosted by the College of Education and Human Services. This annual event was instituted to honor Dr. Sparks, the 5th president of Murray State University. The featured speaker at this year's event is Corey Notestein. Mr. Notestein joins us now to tell us what he will be speaking about. So first off, congratulations on your award of the School Counselor of the Year. How did it feel getting that recognition?
Yeah, it was really quite humbling, really. You know, when you're told that you win a national award, you start to think about all the people that your colleagues and all the people you get to work with, and to think that someone has selected you as like the very best at anything, I think is quite a shock to me personally. But it's been really amazing, just the places I've been able to travel over the last year and talk to the campuses like here at Murray State University or just around the country has been really an amazing experience.
So do you know anything about the event that's going on tonight? So just a general overview.
Yeah, so I know that they're going to be honoring some faculty as well as some other individuals during the awards ceremony, and so I'm just happy to be a part of it and be able to be here and honored to be able to present to them.
So what are you planning on speaking about at this event?
Yeah, so tonight I want to talk about how school counselors are really supporting students and children in their career development. So how do we at a very early age start helping students understand what they want to do, how they go about selecting a career, how they go about entering college, and really what is it that we want them to accomplish when they leave high school. And we hope that students can, one, pick a career eventually, right? Because we know that you may not settle on one career right after high school, but eventually you'll find your path that you're most passionate about.
And how does that tie in with the counseling services here at Murray State?
Yeah, so Murray State has a counselor ed program, and so within that counselor ed program is a school counseling track, and so there's school counselors in training, learning to enter, whether it be it'll be really K-12 education to really work with students one-on-one or in classroom settings or small group counseling settings. And so hopefully I'll be able to share some insight just about the things that I've done and the things that I've done over the last couple of years to support school counseling in the profession.
So what is the main thing that you want the students and faculty and the attendees to take away from your speech?
I think the main thing that I hope people hear is that students will never know for sure probably when they leave K-12 education what they want to do. But as long as we can guide them to a path that they're satisfied and find life fulfillment in what they're doing, I think that's hopefully what they hear, and that there's no linear path to a job or a career that's going to last your lifetime.
So what advice do you have for other school counselors?
I think one thing that school counselors can do is really continue to learn and educate themselves about the growing trends that happen in K-12 education, and making sure you're providing a comprehensive school counseling program that covers not just academic counseling and not just career and development counseling for students, but also the social emotional piece. How are we making sure students are well-rounded individuals being able to cope with the things that society throws at them?
Okay, and what are some of your personal accomplishments that got you this recognition as the School Counselor of the Year?
Yeah, so some of the work that I was doing that was recognized was really increasing access to post-secondary education for students. And so when I went to a small community in rural Colorado, students were struggling to find financial aid to support their career aspirations. And so students were bringing in roughly like $400,000, a little bit more than $400,000 in student aid. Within that first year, we were able to increase it to a little over $1 million. So it really allowed students to be able to access their careers that they hope to do and access additional education. And some of the other things that we were doing, we're looking at how do we provide support for all students in our building. Sometimes there's students that don't have a voice, whether it be an LGBTQ group, whether it be students that just don't know how to advocate for themselves at the current moment. And so we really were trying to bring a voice and help students grow as individuals.
That's great. Well, congratulations again, and thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Murray State prides itself on being a university that welcomes students of all walks of life. But until recently, it was missing one thing. In 2014, the College to Career Experience program was established, which offered a university-level education to students with intellectual disabilities and gave them the college experience they had always dreamed of.
I just want this dream to come true because Murray State feels like it's my home.
The College to Career Experience program was not only the first program of its kind at Murray State, it was also the first program in the state of Kentucky. Hannah will be the third student to complete the program.
We at Murray State were the first to offer a program for students who have intellectual disabilities. It is a work experience, so students, just as a college student comes to college to prepare for a career, that's what students who have intellectual disabilities come to Murray State. They take classes just as any other college student does.
What it took to create this program was something much more powerful than academic standards.
She and her mother became aware of this opportunity through the Human Development Institute out of the University of Kentucky. And when they actually approached our provost in 2011, at that time was Dr. Bonnie Higginson, and asked if this was something that Murray State could do. So Dr. Higginson asked me, and I contacted a professor in the College of Special Education. And so we wrote this application for this comprehensive transition program for students with intellectual disabilities.
Mostly what it took was the love of a mother.
Well, you know, having raised a child with Down syndrome, that wasn't an unfamiliar emotion. You know, the emotion that you feel when, number one, you understand that your child doesn't have access to the things that other people take for granted. Number two, when you recognize that it's going to take a whole lot of work, and you're going to have to embrace a lot of heartache in order to gain access. And number three, to know that if you endeavor to do that and you persevere and you take the emotional blow of being told, no, your child can't be in this program, or your child can't be here, or when you absorb that and then you continue, you know, to endeavor to make it happen, and it does happen, you have this tremendous reward of Hannah, for instance, being a college student, and she absolutely loves being a college student. It's so the right place for her to be right now.
Through the College to Career Experience, Hannah is able to intern with us here at Roundabout U to help prepare her for a job in television.
We have a setup for the interviews with Shelby and Brianna, and then I learned about editing. That's what I did when I was a freshman in high school, and it's just fun in the fine arts building.
But not only does it prepare Hannah for her future career, being a part of the CCE program has given her the opportunity to create a life for herself, a life full of friends, music, and new experiences.
I'm starting to be in the racer band, like permanently, and I just want to be with my racer band of family because I have a few friends that plays the saxophone.
And though the program has already granted Hannah her wish to become a student at Murray State, because of the program, she will have what it takes to make her next dream come true as well.
Be on a TV show in Hollywood, and maybe to be a children's entertainer like the Wiggles. So, because I just wanted to do what they do, to entertain all kids with disabilities.
That's all the time we have for today. If you missed a part of today's show, you can always check us out on the web at roundaboutu.com.
And follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I'm Shelby Sisson.
And I'm Brianna Sill. Thanks for watching Roundabout U.